Hello, good people. So obviously, this video is going to be about you don't have to freeform to be Rasta. Now I know most of us have heard the saying you don't have to you know what I'm saying you don't have to dread to be Rasta, meaning dreadlocks don't make you a Rasta, right? That's basically to my interpretation. That's what that means. So my spin-off to that, or basically it's the same thing, you know what I mean? They just didn't call it free form. You know what I mean? I think you don't have to free form to be Rasta. It's just so that's something that I thought about because people feel like because I either have or I want to grow this type of dreadlocks, then I must start calling myself a Rasta. But you got a lot of people these days who, as soon as they get some type of locks, they think that they're a Rasta. They think that they want to be a Rastafarian. You know, because I think obviously it has to do with a lot with the whole Bob Marley thing. Um, and I'm not saying that it's bad to want to be a Rastafarian. That's not what the video is about. Like I'm not trying to down it. I'm not or people who want to be it, even if it's fake or not. I'm not trying to down anybody. I'm just giving people a little bit more a different insight. I'll say. Um, so people feel like they got to do this, and what happens is people want to or think that they want to be a part of the Rastafarian movement because of surface level things. And if you've actually looked into it, it's a lot bigger than just the surface level things. You know, it's a lot bigger than just listening to Bob Marley's music or liking Bob Marley. It's bigger than partaking in marijuana. It's bigger than hair. It's even bigger than having a certain diet. You know, I would advise people who may want to get into that, like actually look into it, like not just skim things, like talk to people, people who are actually in it. Um, do your own, look and get your own inspiration to be that, not just wanting to have locks. Because listen, man, that's like what happens is a lot of people trying to grow their hair like this. So, and I think I mentioned this in my don't tie spirituality into your hair because people try to do certain things aesthetically, thinking that spiritually or on the inside it's going to make them hold on to that faith or to that movement or whatever it may be. It's kind of like being in a relationship and saying, man, I'm a cheater. I know I like to cheat, but let's either get married or have a baby, and that's going to calm me down. People think that that stuff's going to calm them down or it's going to make them change, but that's not usually what happens. It usually actually worsens the situation. So, um, you can't really get anything outside of your own self, outside of your own knowledge and understanding to make you or help you be a certain way, right? And I think that's what people use these freeform locks, they say what we call today freeform locks, to do. They say, I think I want to be a Rasta, or I think I want to grow my hair like this, so let me try to call myself a Rasta or whatever, and that's going to make me forget about all the other societal things that are pulling me to change my hair. Those things are just going to go away because I'm a Rasta. I'm eating a certain way. And again, a lot of times those things, they don't work. So you don't have to though, man, but you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you can just, I get on here, right? And I'm just me. And I said it on a live video before. If I wanted to, I can get on here and play on the whole Rasta thing. Cause I look like what a Rasta is. I got the hair, I got the beard, so I can play on the aesthetics of that and get people to believe that I'm a certain way so I can get a certain audience. A lot of people on YouTube do it. I choose not to. It's not in the fabric of me to do that. So, but what happens is people think that they kind of associate you with a certain way or certain associate certain looks with certain walks of life. Um, so then you think that you want to do that, but really you just really trying to grow your hair. That's all you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do that just to grow your hair. You can just grow dreadlocks and still be you. You know what I mean? You ain't got to try to be something. You don't have to try to be a part of anything. Right? It's kind of, if you think about it, it kind of defeats the purpose. Now, that's not to say that being trying to be a Rasta is, bad. If you actually want to do it and you actually studying, I'm not saying that it's bad. But what it is that people, when you feel like just because I have a certain type of hair, I have to be a part of this, like you're kind of defeating the purpose of the freedom of it, because you're trying to put you're like, we try to put ourselves, we try to go saying, I don't want to be a part of something. I want to be a black sheep, but then people, you want to be a loner and you want to be different and stand up, and then you like try to force yourself into being something. You try to force yourself into being a part of something else. You just go from one thing to another thing. It's the same thing. Same idea, same thought process. You just feel better about it because it's called something different. So I would say study it first. A lot of times people leave out a lot of things. They leave out like, what the Rastafarians actually went through, because now it's twisted. It's twisted into the whole, it's just about smoking herb. It's just about, hugging and holding hands and Bob Marley, and people don't really talk about Leonard Percival Howell. They don't really talk about what the Rastas and Jamaicans went through in Pinnacle and all of those things. People kind of leave that out. You know what I mean? So, and people, then you want to be a part of it because surface level things. When your desire for wanting hair or these types of dreadlocks, when you can't meet that expectation anymore, you be like, man, this was too hard for me. I couldn't do it. And you're not gonna want to be a Rastafarian anymore. You're not gonna want to be a part of that movement anymore. It's how it goes. How I've seen it go. It's okay to admire stuff though, man. It's okay to admire things and not think about it. People who watch my channel, everybody who watch my channel ain't got freeform locks. Probably ain't got locks at all. A lot of times, man, they just they probably, some of them did try it and it wasn't they haven't gotten there yet. But some of them just like to watch my channel. Just like to, hey, yo, his hair is dope. And they just admire it from the outside and that's it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to try to be something, man, just to grow your hair a certain way. So that's why I call this video, you don't got to freeform to be Rasta. I noticed it with the vegan thing too. A lot of people feel like once they start to wake up, or how you want to label that, you got to be vegan. And I kind of understand it. I get it. To a point, because like you think about right now, Subway has this thing where allegedly they were serving tuna subs, but it wasn't tuna. And we've come across, we've come to know a lot of corporations who were giving us things where we thought it was another thing, but it's imitation of actual food. So I get it. You want to get away from that, because you don't know what they're putting in our food these days. So you want to get away from that. So I get it. I definitely get it. But even then, it's still not for everybody. It's just That's just a realistic thing about it. It's not gonna, being a vegan is not gonna be for everybody. Everybody's not gonna go cold turkey and just stop. It's just not what it is. So, but I've seen people lie about it just because they feel like they feel like if they say I'm not, then it makes them feel less for whatever reason, because people want to fit into something. You don't have to fit into anything, man. All you can do is be the person you are. Now, you do want to make some changes. You do want to be a part of things. Fine, you know what I mean? Like, try to the best you can. I think we lose track of just being genuine people out of everything, you know what I mean? Like, that's the most important thing. Being a genuine person, being the best person you can be, the best human being you can be. Everything after that falls in place. And I'm like, listen, I do understand it, especially as a Black American, because a lot of our information, a lot of our history is told to us a certain way, right? So now, as the years have progressed, we have gotten access to other information and other things. So now people are starting to want to dive into certain other areas of consciousness. I always say everybody has their area of consciousness. And what I mean by everybody has their area of consciousness, meaning once we start to find out this different information, a lot of us go different ways, right? Sometimes, and a lot of us evolve, right? I remember going through the whole Illuminati phase where you're watching these videos on YouTube and you're believing it. And as you get, well, at least for me anyway, as I got older, I'm like, yo, a lot of that stuff I was watching was bad information. Like, but but I'm thankful for it because it did give me a jump start, right? It made me that in the internet, social media. Because on social media, there's a lot of information there's a lot of information put out there, a lot of information. And it taught me that I had to look into everything, no matter who that information is coming from, no matter what that information is. I have to look into it for myself. Because if I don't look into it for myself, then I'm just gonna be believing somebody else's regurgitation a lot of times. A lot of times people just share the stuff, they haven't looked into it. There may be a lot more to that story, and usually there is. It might not even be true altogether, but you have to go look into it yourself. So with us having to, find different information, we venture off into things. Sometimes we venture off into being a Rasta. Sometimes we venture off into being, you got the people who are into the crystals and holistic healing and all of that stuff. Muslims and Hebrew Israelites and Nazarites and there's many, many, many more other walks of life who, people try to dabble in or be a part of. I see people saying that they're witches and healers and tarot card readers, and you got a lot of things, man. Some of those things I have no clue about. I mean, a brother was talking to me the other day. I forgot what the subject was, but he mentioned something to me that I have no clue about. It's just not my area of being, my area of consciousness. So I say everybody has their thing. Everybody has their area of, consciousness, or this walk of life that we get into. So sometimes, so a part of me understands somebody wanting to be a Rastafarian. I get it. But what I'm saying is that have more than surface level things, because that's not going to last long. Try to get as much information, correct information on it as you can. Now, once you get the information, you internalize that information and be your own inspiration as far as how that thing is, right? So a lot of times people they just feel like, because I see somebody else with dreadlocks, I want to have dreadlocks, then this is something that's going to bound me to that and make me, and it's not going to happen like that usually. You're usually going to be it's not going to work out for you in the long run, because it's just surface level stuff. It's going to disappear one time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to disappear at some point. You're not going to be into it anymore. So that would be my advice on that. That's why I try to give people an idea of, well, I don't say idea. I don't like to portray something that I'm not. I think a lot of people, sometimes when they come across my channel, they think I'm something, and then I'm not like that. I think, like I said, I think I surprise people sometimes by whether it be the music that I'm in or other things that I'm into that's not their vision of what they thought I was, because I just be myself, man. I'm an eclectic person. I'm into a lot of things. I don't try to, if I wanted to be a Rastafarian, I would look into it, but it would have to be something that I'm inspired by for myself, not something that because I've seen somebody with a certain type of dreadlocks have, and I'm like, yo, because they have those dreadlocks, I want to be like them. And on top of people really have watered it down anyway. Now, don't get me wrong, just because the mainstream has watered it down, that doesn't mean that there aren't real, Rastas who are still have sight of the movement and the inspiration of why it started. You still have those people out there, right? But I'm not saying that those people don't exist. I'm saying a lot of times what happens is because we have social media and people can get on the internet and be whoever they want to be, you have a lot of it that you do see as watered down, misinformation, and things of that nature. So that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to freeform to be Rasta. It's go be something, whether it be a Rasta or whatever it is, by your own inspiration, by your own knowledge and research. Yes, talk to some people that are into it, but ultimately everything comes down to you. It's not about somebody's hair, not about your hair eating a certain way or talking a certain way. None of those things, you know what I mean? Those are small parts of things. Very small, very, very small parts. But always remember there's a lot bigger things that went into that movement than just hair. So that's my video for today. I appreciate likes, comments, the feedback that I get, love it. And so thanks for watching this video.